Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. And today I'm going to be doing my Senate prediction analysis as of right now and see where all of the races stand for 2024. Now before we get started with the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on that little bell, and follow all socials in the links in the description, and consider being a member of the channel for just $4.99 a month. And without further ado, let's get into the map. And so pretty much as of right now, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, both Nebraska, Missouri, Tennessee, Mississippi, Indiana are going to be safe red, including the state of West Virginia, which used to be considered a competitive election, but Joe Manchin is currently going to retire. Actually, I forgot, not Montana safe. I actually forgot. Dude, we're not putting that safe. West Virginia is going to be a safe Republican state. Jim Justice is probably going to be the Republican nominee. Manchin is retiring, and so more than likely Jim Justice will win the seat pretty easily. For the safe Democratic states, we have the states of California, Washington, Hawaii, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Jersey, Maryland, and Delaware. Well, actually, we're going to switch Maryland for a second because of the fact that Larry Hogan is running. This race may or may not change, depends, but we'll get to in a second. The first state I'm going to be looking here, New Mexico, is going to be likely. The state's probably going to vote for Biden by about 3 or 4 points, 3 to 5. So I think maybe the Democrat performs nationally better than Biden. So I think that it'll probably end up being like a 7 or 8 point win for the Democrat that runs in this seat. I think that Rick Scott will win Florida re-election pretty easily compared to his other elections, but he won't win by as much as like DeSantis or some of these other people did. He'll probably win by like about 6 or 7 points. The Democrats are trying to field basketball players to run against Rick Scott, which will not work out at all. The state of Texas, I don't think it's going to be a 10-point victory like, Governor Abbott won by, but I'd say maybe I'd 5 or 6 point win. Ted Cruz will probably underperform. He will probably underperform more than likely, to be completely honest. Donald Trump on the national level probably do like like 3 to 5 points worse than Trump. So you'll probably win it by about 5 or 6, something as of that right now. Now we're going to be going into the more competitive states. New York is probably going to fall in the likely category. Maine is going to fall in the likely Democratic category. And I actually think I'm going to put Maryland as likely Democrat. I think Larry Hogan running will probably win us a congressional seat or two. Depends on the demographics or the electorate that goes into election day. But this Maryland Senate seat could get interesting depending on who Larry Hogan runs against. Some of the polls have him tied with a certain candidate, and then the other candidate, he's only behind by like 10. So I am actually going to characterize this as a likely margin for now. Now, the state of Minnesota will probably be a likely margin in the Senate level. Amy Klobuchar usually outperforms quite a bit, and I can't really see her losing to a Republican at this point in time, even if Trump wins the state, which I don't think he is right now. But I think even if Trump were to win the state by like a few points, which would be crazy, I think she'd still win by like 2 or 3 points. So I'd say it's about a 6 or 7 point win for Amy Klobuchar. Now, the next thing I'm going to be looking at here is the state of Virginia. Hung Kao is running for the Senate seat against Tim Kaine. And I think that more than likely, Tim Kaine probably still does prevail, but Hung Kao is going to give him a run for his money. I expect this to be somewhat of a close race. It's probably going to be a 2 or 3 point win for Tim Kaine. The next state I'm going to be going into is the state of Montana. As you know, Rosendale did drop out. Thank God he saw the writing on the wall that he probably was going to cause a divisive primary. And so now we can all back Tim Sheehy that has the Trump endorsement. Now, Tim Sheehy is regarded as more of a fake MAGA guy. He is a part more of the establishment per se. And so there is going to probably be a lot of reluctant voters that may or may not run against him. And I think that, election YouTubers are saying, oh, but, John Tester's leading by 9, so automatically a Dem flip or a Dem hold. Like, no, that's not what's going to happen. I think the race is going to be pretty close. I'm going to change this from my last prediction. The last prediction, I actually had it as likely, but I am actually going to characterize this as a lean state for Tim Sheehy right now. He probably wins it by like 2 or 3 points. He's going to massively underperform Donald Trump. I think if this was Rosendale, I would have kept it as a likely margin, but as of right now, I'm actually going to put it in the lean category. The next state I'm going to be looking at is the state of Ohio. I think Bernie Moreno is in a different scenario. He's avoiding a divisive primary. He's going against a pretty, long time incumbent, which may be quite difficult. But I think with Trump on top of the ticket, if he wins Ohio by like 10 points, Bernie Moreno probably wins by like 3 or 4, in my personal opinion. Now we're getting into the final states. I think that the Democrat does hold ever so slightly in Nevada. I think she's got pretty good ground game. And even though Trump will probably win Nevada by like 3 or 4 points, I think the Democrat will probably hold on in the seat as of right now. I think in the state of Michigan, even though it is an open election, they will probably end up barely taking the state, in my opinion. I think it is going to be close. Um, Alyssa Slotkin is retiring the Senate to run for US Congress, I believe. Or like no, it's not that. It's Feinstein, I think. Somebody was here and they retired, and now Alyssa Slotkin is running for Senate here. And the Republicans, James Craig is not running anymore. So that's another thing. But as of right now, I think that more than likely the Democrat does hold. I think that in Arizona, I think Kerry Lake does actually barely come out on top. I think Gallego is somewhat of a mediocre candidate. And even though the state is trending to the left, I think Trump will probably win the state by like, probably between 0 points and like 2 points. But I think Kerry Lake will still prevail on top, to be completely honest. And so the last two states are Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. I'm gonna give Pennsylvania to Bob Casey by like a point or so, probably like a 2, 3 point win, because of the fact he is a pretty long time incumbent. He has a big ID name in the state, and also he's just generally approved of there. So I am going to give him the state. Now, Tammy Baldwin. Here's the thing about this, guys. I think just because of the fact that I do have Trump winning the state by like 5 points or like close to five, I think she's gonna like ever so slightly fall short to whoever the Republican. I just don't think the ticket is gonna split that much to where she wins Wisconsin by like a point or even less than a point, but Trump wins Wisconsin by almost five. I don't think it's gonna ticket split that much. And so right now I have the Republicans at 54 Senate seats to Democrats 46 seats. And so if you guys did enjoy the video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell, and follow all socials and the links in the description. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.